Hi everyone, welcome to Sage's Garage. Today we are assembling the bottom half of the engine. The cylinder head is all good and ready to go, and so now the next step for the engine is putting together the block. What we're going to do today is put new pistons on the connecting rods and put new bolts in those. If you guys have been following this journey since the beginning, you know that the whole reason I'm doing this is because one of the bolts actually came out of my connecting rod in the car while I was driving on the highway. So basically it bent the bottom half of the connecting rod, and from there it was just a whole bunch of bad things happening. So that's why we're doing this. So very important that we have new bolts in there and that they are on nice and tight and that doesn't happen again, because I'm scared that it will. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the new rings that we gapped in the last episode on the pistons, and then we're gonna pop those in the block, and we're also going to put the crankshaft in there. So really, we're getting close. The bottom half is almost done, so let's just get right into it.
Doesn't reach.
Oh man. So I had gotten new pistons, but in one of the four, the piston pin was actually a little bit too tight and it wasn't moving as smoothly as the rest of them were. So we very lightly honed it. Literally, like, we just barely honed it just to make sure there was no little abrasions, anything like that. And now it's a lot smoother, but it's still the same size. So it should be all good to go in the engine now. We were just having a look at the manual because we were trying to decide which way it was forward facing and which way it was back facing. We have this arrow, and so we are obviously hoping that the arrow points forward, but we wanted to test and see. What we did is we measured it to see if it was offset at all, and actually what's interesting is if you go this way, hopefully I can get this level. I don't really know how to do this. We're gonna say that, okay? That number, you can see it there. That's this way, and then if we go here, you can see that's a number. So it's actually totally different, and you can kind of see the circle is offset to this side. It's closer here than it is here. So very interesting. Now I'm assembling the pistons with the connecting rods. So I'm ensuring that the arrow for the front is pointing down right now. And I've got the side that is offset closer to my right. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my connecting rod, and I wanna make sure that it's facing the same way as these, because we know that this faces the cam and we need to make sure those are all the same. So now I've got my arrow the correct direction, my connecting rod the correct direction. I'm just going to line them up here, and then I've got my pin, and I'm going to go ahead and pop that in just to connect them. Make sure it's all good. And there we go. All right, we've ensured that the piston and connecting rod are all facing the correct direction. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this pre-lube on it just to make sure that everything slides smoothly, and that way the engine will actually run really nicely. And so what I'm gonna do is actually, I'm going to take them back apart and then make sure that they still face the same direction. I'm going to coat them nicely. And just go ahead and spread it around, making sure that it is on all of the surfaces. And then I'm going to make sure I put the arrow the correct way again. Going to apply some more here. Right, put it back in, make sure, triple check that it is facing the correct direction, the connecting rod and the piston. And then I'm going to put a bit more on the pin here because we really want to make sure that all the surfaces are coated. And then I've honestly found that the best way to get the pin in here nicely is I'm actually just going to gently use this giant hammer just to make sure that's in there all the way. And of course, I'm just kidding, but I'm sure you know based on this channel, I've made some silly mistakes like that in the past, but thankfully I'm learning. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to gently use my hand because it should not be that difficult that I need a hammer. And I'm going to pick it up so it's easier. But I'm sure some of you believed I was going to do that based on some of the silly things I've done on here. Now everything's very slippery, so let's line it up. There we go. And it moves thoroughly. This piston, it moves around completely freely, and this guy should spin in here. It's just everything's super slippery right now, but it's all good to go. Now I'm going to move on and do the rest. The pistons and connecting rods are assembled now, and I have triple checked they're all facing the right direction and all ready to go. Now I'm going to put the snap rings on the other end. Oh, gotta make sure they're facing the right way first. That one. Oh, now that they're oily, cannot tell. Okay, it's already facing the right direction. Great. Oh, my hands are so slippery. Okay, I'm gonna go here, squeeze. Oh, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I'm gonna redo that one because it's not in correctly. Just. I really want to make sure it's in the groove there, so I'm just going to take a peek, and it's not. There, okay. And that one is good. All right, we're getting ready to put the crankshaft in now. So I have all my new bearings, and I've got my clean crank journals here, but I just want to make sure that they're actually properly clean. So I just have a bit of brake cleaner here, and I'm just giving it a wipe. Oh, and there's still some good bits on there. So I'm just gonna wipe it off. And I'm also gonna wipe off the new bearings just to make sure there is absolutely no debris, because that would be a big problem for us if there were. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I've got this little tab here, and I'm going to line it up with this notch, make sure that it's straight, and I'm just gonna push the bearing inwards and until it is there. And I need to make sure that it lines up perfectly with this hole. The top and the bottom are aligned, and that looks good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other two now. was a bit of an abrupt ending. I didn't end up filming any more that day, but we did finish putting all those new bearings in. That was definitely a shorter video, but we got some good stuff done, and we did go back the next day and do a ton more work, so I will have that video up for you next week. Little update on where I am right now with the car is, honestly, I have been so busy. I have been sick twice and not doing so good, so I couldn't work on the car. And then I also was in Toronto, which is about 4 hours away from where I live, filming a commercial, which was super duper fun. But that took up some of my time as well. So I'm super grateful for all the reasons that I've been busy, except for being sick. But that does mean that I have not gotten as much work on the car as I thought of by this point. I know you guys are definitely sick and tired of hearing that, but I do just want to stay honest with you. And I also want to apologize that I have not been responding to comments or messages like I used to. I definitely do intend to, so if you notice me responding to comments from like 4 months ago, that's why. I do still intend to, and I read every single one. I appreciate everything you guys have to say. Again, I've just been so busy that I've decided if I'm putting my time towards the channel, it's going towards editing the videos or working on the car, and I don't necessarily have the time to reply to the comments, but I will get there, I promise, and I am reading each and every one as they're coming in, and I truly appreciate all of your support and all of your kindness, so just please don't forget that. I'm definitely working on how to balance my life with this channel and with all the other things I have going on, so I appreciate you all seem to be very understanding of that, which is so amazing. I couldn't ask for anything more. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!